This was a movie that I was not expecting to turn out the way it did, and it was quite different. Now, this movie is directed by Christopher Nolan, which is one of the best directors in Hollywood today. And we have people in this movie like Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Kenneth Branagh, Harry Styles, and Fionn Whitehead. Now, this movie takes place during World War II, and there is 400,000 soldiers that are on a beach, and they don't really have much other options. There's enemies coming from behind them, above them, everywhere. And this is so realistic because they only have one option, and that is to get on the boat and evacuate and get to home. Now, we see this movie taking place in 3 different perspectives. One, it starts out on the beach, and from those people, that perspective, it takes place over the course of 1 week. And we have some people that are in a boat, and it's just a little boat. It's not the big boat where all the main stars are on, and this boat takes place in a course of 1 day. And we have people that are in the helicopter fighter jets, and that takes course in the place of 1 hour. And it's pretty cool because they take place at different time periods, and they end up getting connected with each other in a way. And yeah, the whole movie gets all connected with those 3 different perspectives, which is pretty cool. We haven't really seen that in a while, if not ever. Now, throughout this movie, there's maybe about 20 seconds at tops of just pure silence the whole movie. It was a very loud movie, and it didn't give you any time to breathe. It had you on the edge of your seat the whole entire time. Now, personally, I was a bit nervous and scared of this being a PG-13 movie, even though that this was directed by Christopher Nolan, because I believe that war films should be rated R, because I want to see blood and violence, and because I want to feel what the soldiers actually felt. But this movie, after watching it, I was alright with it being PG-13. I was alright with what happened in the film. I didn't need the extra blood and violence like I thought I would need. I was so excited to see this because of one reason only. That is Christopher Nolan. He brings it every time. And this is just such a different film. We haven't seen anything like this before, and it just jumps right into it. I thought everything looked so real. The practical effects were magnificent, with the torpedoes, the gunshots, the bombs, everything. I mean, it just felt so real. It felt like I was almost there in a way. Now, Tom Hardy, one of my favorite actors to this day, he was in one of the fighter jets in like the dog fights, and those were some of the best scenes in the film because it was like point of view shots, and you felt like you were Tom Hardy. You felt like you were controlling the jet and actually fighting the other, people in the air in dogfight battle. Now, once again, Hans Zimmer teamed up with Christopher Nolan again to work on the score of this film, and every time they do, it turns out good, just like this. Hans Zimmer is one of the best composers in all Hollywood. Now, some people might have not liked this about the film, but there wasn't really much character development, and it was a big critique point throughout a lot of film critics about the character development, but I liked it, and I didn't mind it at all, because when you're actually in combat and in a war zone and stuff like this, you don't have time to talk about your past. You're meant there to fight for one reason only, your country. And that's why we didn't need any character development, because it just focused on that one big action time period scene. However, I guess there's one main character, if you wanted to call him. His name's Tommy. He's like right in the beginning of the movie, and it kind of centers in his character throughout the film. And I guess could say I was rooting for him the most throughout the film and hoping he would stay alive throughout the film. Now, I tend to feel like more excited about Marvel films because I'll admit I am a Marvel fanboy, but like I feel more connected with war films because these are films that actually happened and they're so real. With Marvel films, I mean, obviously they're make-believe, but with war films, there's stuff that actually happened. Now, for me personally, I don't know much about the whole Dunkirk, the live event, what actually happened back in World War II. But when I left the theater, I was actually doing a bunch of research about the actual event because I was interested because of the movie by Christopher Nolan, and I wanted to know more about the big event that happened. Now, overall, it was a bit confusing, but because there was like time periods where I was jumping from like night, day, well, that was for the 3 different perspectives. I realized that throughout the course of the film, but it was a little confusing with that, but I mean, it was just a different style of filmmaking. Now, okay, I'm gonna give this review of Dunkirk an A. I didn't think there was really much wrong with the film at all. It wasn't over the top for me personally. For some people, you guys might love it to death. For some people, you guys might think it's alright. But for me, I didn't think there was much wrong with it. It just wasn't that big notch. But Christopher Nolan, he made another solid film. In this guy's career, I don't think he's made like one bad movie. And to say that, that's pretty impressive. And he's made over like 10 great films. Now guys, if you enjoyed this review of me reviewing Dunkirk, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that way you can see me next time. Thanks for watching.